Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Comic Book Show on location at the Dallas Fantasy Fair. I'm your host, Keith Colvin, and on this episode, we'll introduce you to Roland Mann, the writer of many comic series, including the popular Miss Fury and Cat and Mouse, in conversation with our reporter, R.A. Jones.
Hi, I'm R.A. Jones. With me today is Roland Mann, the pride of Petal, Mississippi. Roland's probably best known as the scripter of the comic book series Cat and Mouse for Malibu Graphics, but something he's going to be even more well known for pretty soon now is a new series called Rocket Ranger.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Rocket Ranger is based on the CinemaWare video game. There's a Nintendo version, an Amiga version, and an IBM version. Oh. And it's a lot like the Rocketeer.
No.
Yes, no kidding. It was supposed to be really hot selling for the Nintendo. I believe it sold 500,000 copies to Nintendo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so let's hope it sells 500,000 copies of the comic book.
That'd be nice. Is this going to be in color?
It's in color.
Full color?
It's drawn by a guy from South America somewhere. His name is Kato. I don't really know exactly where. Yeah. And it's kind of a fun little format we're playing with. It kind of follows the old 50 serials, little 15-minute cliffhanger sort of thing. So on every 8th page we have a full splash page cliffhanger.
Oh. So
I'm having a lot of fun doing that. Giving him the typical type cliffhangers. He's up in the air, and you got a Messerschmitt 109 all coming right at him, and
so it's set in the 40s.
It's set in the 40s. Basically, the story behind it is this guy who is developing Tom Corey, who is the Rocket Ranger, is developing a high altitude bomb site when he gets this pack appears on his desk, has the rocket pack, the helmet, the Dick Tracy wrist radio thing. Right. It has a letter. It's from a group of scientists 100 years in his future, and in their time, the Nazis won World War II and have had 100 years rule. So basically, what they've done is taken the technology of then, sent it back to 1940, and Tom Corey gets the rocket pack, and it's his job to prevent the Nazis from conquering the world. Right. So
is the storyline itself? Does that come from the video game, or is that an original on your part?
It comes from the video game. I'm trying to stick as close to the video game as I possibly can. It's kind of I don't know how to describe it. I don't play a lot of video games. It's kind of a mix between sort of a text game and an arcade game. Right. You'll tell Rocket Ranger to go do this, and you'll give him some commands, and just as he's flying over Berlin, you'll have to actually do an arcade fight with a bunch of fighter planes. And then there's another sequence when he goes to the jungle, and you have to shoot these guys in this secret pyramid, ancient ruins. And that's the arcade part of the game. And I'm trying to add a lot in to make it a story. And
that way I assume someone who's never even, like me, I don't play video games at all, but I could get into the comic.
Yes, you could read the comic and never even play the game. Yeah. So, but if you play the game, you'll say, oh yeah, I remember doing this part in the game. Oh, yeah. Now, of course, I'm adding a lot of my own things because there are only so many screens that you have, in a video game. Yeah. And the only thing I haven't been able to win the video game yet, so I don't know how the comic's going to end.
How many issues is it going to run?
It's going to be 12 issues.
12 issues, starting when? Starting
in August. I believe they skipped a month of solicitations, and it'll pick up with number 2 in October. Wow. And the reasoning behind that is, if they put the first issue out, all the retailers have to order so far in advance that they'd like to get this first issue in their hand and say, see, this is a nice looking book, now order it. Yeah. So they're going to try it, and I hope it works.
Yeah. Well, the Rocketeer movie is doing reasonably well anyway, so there should be enough of a...
Well, let's hope we can cash in on a little bit of that, yeah.
Well, sure, there's nothing wrong making a little money.
Because they spend a lot of money making the movie, so... Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting some kickback on that.
Rocket Ranger wouldn't exactly be described as a superhero, though in a way I guess he is with the costume and all. But I know that you are working on some pure superhero books, including Miss Fury.
Now Miss Fury is a Golden Age character.
Right.
The character was created by Tart Mills, and it was a strip. And I believe the title of the strip was originally Black Fury. They changed it midway through the series for reasons I don't know. And then it became Miss Fury. Basically, what I've done is take the character the way it was done in the 40s, and I said, okay, that was neat, and now let's make this character exist in the 1990s. And so our Miss Fury that we'll see is the great-granddaughter of the Miss Fury of the 1940s. So I didn't really have a close tie in the series. I was going to make some sort of connection, but Tom up at Malibu said you need to have a sequence set in the 40s. So the first 5 pages of the first issue is the original Miss Fury fighting Nazi spies.
Yeah.
More Nazis.
Sure.
So.
Well, of course, with Cat and Mouse, you were at least half the team there you were dealing with was female. So, do you enjoy dealing with the female superheroines?
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. To be honest with you, I try not to. I realize there are a lot of differences, but I try not to say, well, this is a female character. I've got to treat her a little different, and this is a male character. I try to give them their own personalities, and I try to let them do. Of course, you know, when Cat and Mouse first started, a few female readers told me that they thought I was a bit of a chauvinist because I didn't do it intentionally. You know, Cat was always he's about 10 years older than Mouse. Yeah. And he was always more, he sees himself more as a father figure to Mouse, and he was always like, stay here, out of trouble, you know, and of course she was like, you know, no, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. So it came off as being kind of chauvinistic, and that's why the issues coming out now are all Mouse. So.
Well, I'm glad I don't have that problem with any of the books I write.
Yeah. Well, the other superhero I'm doing now is the stuff with you.
Yeah, which is, I guess, a scoop of sorts for the comic book show here. I don't think we've spoken publicly about this yet. The connection
had some kind of sneak ads in the CBG.
Yeah.
But they didn't really tell you what it is.
No. And this, just to explain it to the folks, this is a tie-in with a new series that I'm writing for Malibu, starting in January, called The Protectors, a superhero team book that again takes some Golden Age characters, a few of whom actually predate Superman and Batman. We've revised them, changed them, brought them up to date in the 1990s, and made a super team out of them. And we're in the process of creating, I hate to say it, but I guess you have to call it the Malibu Universe.
Malibu Universe.
And we're trying to keep it all as tightly connected as we can. And the first spin-off from the Protectors is going to be a one-shot that you're working on, featuring a character called the Arrow.
Yeah, it was. I've had a lot of fun with it. Of course, you know, it's still kind of in the editing stages.
Right.
But I had a lot of fun with it, getting to do a superhero. I don't know much about the Golden Age character because there's not a lot available.
No, the books are so hard to find. Of course, it kind of gives you a clean slate to start from. You can lay your own origin over him. And
well, one of the things I want to make sure that I get to do with the Arrow is you've done a lot of work with the Protectors, and I want to make sure the Arrow fits into the continuity that you've come up with.
Well, that's the interesting thing, and I'd never really realized this myself, but on one hand, it's tougher trying to coordinate with other creators, but on the other hand, it serves as a springboard for you. I've already started thinking of ways I can use what I know you're planning to do with the Arrow to affect things that will happen in the Protectors later on down the line.